Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. Are y'all up? Are y'all off? It's a holiday. I know some of you have to work, like my husband. He had to go to work today because they have an event in a couple of days. But some of you guys are off. I know there are some of my creatives who are off today and normally can't catch me when I do these super early videos live on the weekdays. So I'm hoping that more of my creatives can catch me on this weekday live. Hello, hello, hello. If you can hear me, clap once, because y'all know my microphone will surely betray me. So if you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Incredible morning, everyone. Let's see. Let's change the audience, the privacy on my Facebook post. And then let's go ahead and hit share and get our share on. Pup boogie. Oh, I see the claps. All right. Y'all can hear me. Okay. Incredible morning. Hey, Dims. Hey, honey buns. How art thou? Hello. Welcome in. All right. So I got to share this out real quick. But how are y'all doing? Do y'all plan on going out to a pool, beach, barbecue, sit at home, word, craft? If you're still doing grad season, you're like, what holiday? Because I'm still working, so it's not a holiday for me. It just means more work because I might be off from that first job, but now I got to do all this. Ooh, is my audio breaking up? Is it blurry? Because, honey, it is telling me that my Wi-Fi is low. So, well, we'll see once I turn the screen on if it is if it's all choppy. But if my voice is choppy, if you guys could let me know, I have no idea what's going on. Nope, I'm good. Alrighty, cool beans. Yes, my love. Yeah, so of course, children are home too, so I'm gonna probably get interrupted a few times during this, but it's okay. All right, so I just did my post that I have to. I'm going to use this one to share it out. So let's go copy. Let's go share. Let's go share again. Let's post it to a group. Bam. I miss the days when you can hit all the groups that you wanted to, that all the groups you wanted to share to, and it would just, do it all in one. Now you have to do it individually, and it's no fun. I have to do them one by one now. Hopefully today Facebook doesn't play around with my distribution. Like, come on now, like let the people know. Right now, it's like all YouTube is like I see a few people on Facebook. So hopefully it doesn't like it don't try me because sometimes it do be trying you, girl. All right, so I know those are groups that I can post in. If there are any other groups that you guys are a part of, let me know if I'm able to post them. They like if you ever see live videos of people helping and things like that, and let me know if I can post in those groups. All right. So, I'm line dancing at noon. Okay. Clap. All right. So it's good. Incredible morning. Wait a minute. Incredible morning. Just welcome to Texas. So it's so weird, right? I'm one of those people where I don't understand why every holiday, like what's deemed as a holiday, where people are like happy or like, happy whatever the day is, or like, of course for Christmas, it's like Merry Christmas or whatever. I never understood that because Memorial Day is actually a very somber day. And although I'm a Air Force veteran, I never like when people say Happy Memorial Day. I'm like, excuse me, holla at me on Veterans Day, not Armed Forces Day because I'm not active. Holla at me on Veterans Day. I'll gladly take the, thank you for serving our country, but don't kill me off. Like Memorial Day is for the ones that have passed. So I never really used the term Happy Memorial Day. If there is someone that I personally know that has lost someone, or like if I make a post online or whatever, I thank those who basically share their servicemen with the country, with the world. And, I tell them, thank you for your sacrifice in that your loved one is not here. Anyone that I know, like my uncle, I go and I thank him for his service. He didn't die in active duty, but he still served in the army. So like for my uncle, I'll go and, just kind of have that reflective moment and just like, and thank him. But for me, I don't think all what are quote unquote holidays are meant to have a happy in front of it. So I might be in the minority with that, but I'm like, that's always kind of been my thing is I never say Happy Memorial's Day. Yay, I'm glad you caught another live. My daughter graduated. Congratulations to her as well as you. When it's another thing for me, like my niece graduated on Friday and we went up there, and after everyone, I'm not say thank, but like, gave her flowers and just congratulated her. I congratulated her, but I also, went to her parents and said, I turned to her parents and said, you guys should be commended as well. I want to give you guys your flowers because that's like she was like their last one, right? Like there you have 3 children, she's the last one. And while the rest, all of them were great in school, did like Upward Bound and had college credits. Ashley actually graduated from college before she graduated from high school with her AA. And I think it's just a testament to having supportive parents to, have to be able to do that. Like her mom said, she would have to like leave work to take her from school, then to the college campus and go pick her up. And it was just a lot of sacrifice all the way around. So I made sure that I gave them their flowers. But anytime there is a very, very active parent, I like to also just give you your flowers because, you did it. Like congratulations to you. You have a graduate. So my hat's off to you. And congratulations to you both. Ooh, you're planning around the weather. Oh, wow. Is it bad in Texas right now? I think that's where our neighbor went as well. I know you're not going to be able to see me. You're going to just see my screen because I don't have the camera on. And she's your only. Oh, yeah, right. So incredible morning. All right. So let me also get my TikTok going here. Okay, how do I change this? Because I don't want child, we just gonna take a picture of whatever is here. Because all right, so learn with the professor. All right, so I had to start my tickety tick talk. All right, let's see. My professor best friend is live on this Memorial Day. You taught us that this day is set aside to our fallen soldiers. Thank you for all that you do to educate us in every way. Oh, thank you. Incredible morning. And again, thank you because had I like mind you, they were done. They were done. I had them just like waiting or whatever. And I woke up the next morning or whatever. I woke up when I looked at the notification, I was like, wait, huh? Had to go look. So I had to quickly redo it, change it out to from 2023 to 2024, print it out before she got here because their graduation was at 2. So I thank you because that would not have been because literally no one pointed out, no one said anything. I was operating, I had not been to sleep. Like I was actually up until I took a nap on the way to my niece's graduation. I was up for 31 hours within 6, like, so by the time we got done with like everything, within a 60-hour period, I had only had 5 hours of sleep. I was exhausted. So I thank you for at least helping me catch that before, her aunt got here to pick them up. But let's go ahead and, hey, just say, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor. Well, Shakia Lavelle Pericles is my name. That's what most people like. That's what everyone in my everyday life knows me as. But a lot of you guys know me as Shakia the professor or simply the professor. That name came a few years ago, just in my level of attention to detail when it comes to all things kind of creative and business. The way that I love to just like research and experiment and test things to make sure that I'm providing the most accurate information that I'm able to, because I've tested it, I've done different research, and it's just things that I know to be true just from my general like background. And that's just what, my peeps call me. Well, first it was the Lord, the Lord told me I was professor. And then some people call me dean. I kind of do like that one. But I teach on, as Miss Catherine said, just about everything. I originally started teaching Silhouette Studio. I mean, just kind of, I don't even say teaching it, just kind of doing demonstrations on Silhouette Studio, which I'm going to go ahead and turn my banner off just so that you guys can see my Silhouette screen. You know that it's not just, that screen. So I started here over like almost 10 years ago doing pre-recorded content. And then, once I got introduced to live videos over on Facebook, I was doing live content. And then I eventually started doing them live on YouTube, but I would do like pre-recorded. So I know this program inside and out. It is an absolutely free program that allows you to design, print from without any restrictions. Um, and if you have the machine, being able to do larger like print and cuts and things of that nature. But it's an amazing system from the program to the machine. And I absolutely fell in love with it. For me, it was like 11 years ago, but I've been teaching it for 10. And that's how most people know me. Like if you're a real old school, you know me from that. If you're more new school, you know me for sublimation. I am someone who was using Epson printers more so for like my print and cuts. I was doing party favors and chip bags and um, toppers and invitations and labels and stickers and just about any and everything that you can think of with my Epson 7620 and then eventually the 7720. Well, at the time, I did not know that that was a very popular printer for sublimation. But because I knew that printer inside and out, I was invited into a sublimation group, and just me providing my knowledge for Epson printers and then introducing Silhouette Studio to a lot of people, it just kind of grew and bloomed from there to where in 2020, our family created and released our product line of sublimation products, which is called Honestly Speaking. Okay. That's and the name came from the fact that I'm real open, honest. Like I don't I rub some people, which some people have said to me that I was a bit much for them when they first came across, especially if they came across a video where I'm like I go in, right? Like I want to give you the real, the raw. Like I don't like to sugarcoat it because it's not going to help you. Like you really, really need to understand if you're especially if you want to do this for business, you really need to understand all aspects of it. Like that's my philosophy on it. I'm not your average crafter, So I kind of give it to people blood raw. And it rubs, I guess, some people the wrong way. Some people can't take, and I feel like I have learned in teaching to somewhat, I wouldn't say tone it down, but because I have such a passion for it, I guess sometimes my thoughts, opinions, my views, like when I'm looking at things, and I would just express them because I'm so excited. It wasn't welcomed, and I'm learning to not do that as much. I'm learning to um I'm getting a better understanding that I had to have this realization that Shakia, you were privileged. You had the opportunity to learn and to get into this well over 2 decades ago. Whereas a lot of people are just being introduced to this, and so you kind of have to handle them with kid gloves sometimes. And so I'm getting better with it because I was very, very blunt, but it birthed Honestly Speaking, which is our product line where we carry the absolute best summation paper and ink. If you don't know, our summation paper allows you to be more efficient, to get things done quicker, faster, better, using less resources. We don't use premium presentation paper matte for sublimation. We use plain paper, bright white, set to the highest quality. Oh, wait, let me go ahead and put my disclaimer on before it, or my disclosure on TikTok, because it'll suppress my distribution for like 10 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that. So I have to put the disclosure on. But you print using plain paper, bright white, and you don't sacrifice, you don't give up on color and just clarity and ink release. As you know, the community likes to say ink release. Like that's you guys' marker for something being great is ink release. But it does have a great ink release. But being able to print at such a lower ink setting, you're going to make your ink last so much longer. It's going to print out faster. How many of you guys here are using a paper and you're using plain paper, bright white, and it takes you anywhere from 9 to 15 minutes sometimes, depending on how large the file, or how much of a page you're taking up. It takes a real long time. Even for 8.5 by 11, you're talking like several minutes, and it just seems like it's taking forever to get it done. And it's because you're using premium matte. Well, you'll be able to cut that print time in half, like probably even 3 times as faster by using the settings that we have for our paper. And then you're going to get the sublimation done faster because you're going to be able to press and get amazing results in just 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And that's pretty much for anything with a heat press, whether it's metal, MDF, fabric, anything except slate, glass, and acrylic. 365, 30 seconds from any heat press, just about any heat press. So definitely check out our products. And then, of course, I teach a wide variety of other things. I start off with Silhouette Studio, but like we have our Photoshop essentials that's live right now. Our next session, session 3, is on Tuesday. You can still join. We haven't really got this Tuesday will be, well, tomorrow will be the first day. Like we really get into the nitty gritty. I had to set the foundation first for the first 2 sessions, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Okay. But when I do these sessions, they are to help you guys. Like I said, I've been doing this, and I got introduced to graphic design and screen printing and photo development and business and all these things over 2 decades ago. 26 years. I was in 11th grade. I will be 43 on Thursday. I was about to say Wednesday. I have no idea why, but I will be 43 on Thursday. So I've been in this for quite some time. And I like sharing my knowledge, my expertise. I know you guys go through some frustrating times if you're brand new to this. It's like trying to train your brain to learn something new. So I try to bridge that gap between knowing it on a professional level and kind of trying to break it down to where it's digestible for someone who's beginning or is like still a crafter and kind of starting a side hustle, might be getting into business, helping you develop tough skin. I really feel like those who can take Shakia's bluntness sometimes, or when it was like the professor's kind of rough. If you were here and you survived, like when you didn't really know me, and then now okay, she does it all out of love, it's going to make you a better business person because you're going to develop tougher skin. And in this industry where people question everything because there's so many people that keep calling it crafting, you make a shirt the same way that Nike makes a shirt. There's no special way for a Nike or any of these other places to make shirts, right? They're either going to embroider the Nike check on there. Nike uses vinyl. DTF is something that is newer, but there are DTG printers. They're screen printing. So you're using the same exact techniques that these major corporations use. Are they calling it crafting? Absolutely freaking not, and that's one of the things that I think I push people away on is I'm always saying like, yo, stop limiting yourself to just being called a crafter and saying, okay, you're in these craft groups. And that might be where you kind of start to like learn skills, and it's okay to be in them because, that's where like the new trending and stuff like pop up at. But for your business, I'm one that says you don't have if you're doing this for business and you're serious about it, it's no longer a craft business. Like it's not a craft business. You have a legitimate business. You have to learn how to present it. Because it's good. Like how you present your business will really determine how people receive you when it comes to giving your prices and whether or not they feel like it's too high or whatever. And then sometimes because of it's like you guys are diminishing what it is that you're doing when you've mastered it. So now you're just starting off, that's one thing. But once you have mastered it and you can do some of these things with your eyes closed, like you can literally teach, like truly teach a class or like, like a little session on to do a tutorial. You deserve to be paid for your expertise. In other industries, you have entry-level positions and they are paid as such. And once you get a certain level of expertise, the pay increases. Yeah, you're going to have people that don't want to. And you're going to hear some no's. You're going to have people gripe about things. But when you have tough skin, it's like you're going to let it roll off because it's like, hey, I know the value that I bring. If you don't put value in what I do, I'm just going to continue to hunt for those who find value in what I bring to the table and how I can service them. That's just my philosophy, like on this like whole thing. And I've been very consistent with that for the 10 years that I have been teaching. So when I do these sessions, I want to help bridge that gap and give you help based off of 26 years of experience. The chat is open. If I'm on here, and I'm saying this is a live Q&A, it's a help session. Post your questions, guys. Post your questions, your concerns, your inquiries, your pain points, the things that are frustrating you. If you are considering buying or getting a new printer, a new machine, start like trying to learn a new trend. If you want my thoughts on that trend, is it profitable? Is it something that you should look really, invest time and energy into looking to learn? Ask, guys. If I'm on here, yes, I have classes, and that's where I really go in. Be ye not fooled. I give a lot of detail in these live sessions, but a paid course, a paid training session with me, they're group ones, we do it via Zoom. The way that those are set up, it's an experience like nothing else. It's so many people who always felt that they could not learn certain things virtually. It's like, oh, well, I gotta find someone that's local to me. I'd rather learn, in person. I'm a hands-on, not knowing that I have the most, don't even know how it's possible. It is like the most hands-on virtual class. It almost feels like I am in the room with you, like whenever we have done ones where it's like an actual like project and you need to do the thing, or if someone's on a one-on-one session with me, it's like I'm there with you the way that I teach. So if you have been hesitant about taking virtual classes to improve your creative skills, definitely consider taking our classes. How do you go about joining the Creative Academy? So we don't have like our 365 Creative Academy is just the entire school name. So there is nothing to where you just join once and you have access to everything. We have a bunch of different classes. So like I said, right now, Photoshop is the one that is actively going on live right now. The next one should be like bringing back like party favors, and then also Shopify. Just trying to figure out that, still like in a transition period. But in July, we go back into 13 weeks of live sessions for Essentials of Silhouette Studio. I teach graphic designing. I don't teach, and notice that my class says Essentials to Silhouette Studio. Anyone can take this class, whether you have a Silhouette machine, you don't have any machine whatsoever. If you have a Cricut machine, a Caesar machine, a StarCraft, a GrabTech, because it's just a vector-based program. When you are purchasing SVGs and DXF, well, I don't think you guys do DXF. We purchasing SVG files. They are created in a vector program. Most of you guys will know like Illustrator. Affinity is on the rise, but Illustrator and Corel Draw are the older programs for creating vector files that are set up in a way to where you can open that SVG with your Cricut, size it, cut it, and be able to create. Silhouette Studio is basically the same thing with a little bit of Photoshop-ish flair, because there are a lot of things in there that, are native to a program like Photoshop. So I teach graphic designing via this particular program because it's absolutely free. You can head over to silhouetteamerica.com. Oh, they changed their website. Go to software. Oh, they really changed their website since the last time we were on here. Oh damn, hold on. Okay. I don't understand why Silhouette Connect would be okay. This is going to be Sometimes I wonder, like, who is at the helm of this company and the things they put out, because why would you put Silhouette Connect? The average person is going to bypass the fact that this is the plugin for Illustrator and Corel Draw. It's like, okay, this is how the average like beginner crafter brand new is like, oh, this is how I connect Silhouette to my computer. Why would that be the first thing that's there? That makes app, man. Ugh. Anywho, you're going to go to where it says Silhouette Studio. This is the base version of the program. So the current version here is 4.5.791. I'm not sure. I think that might be the one I'm using. But if you have a system that's like not that great, so you're going to come right here to legacy versions. And you're going to go down to 4.3.370. Now, I do like that you have it all spread out now. And it makes it really easy to see which ones have 32 and which ones don't. Now that I like it a lot, okay? But I don't understand the mix. Like, why not have all of Windows and then all of, I'm sorry, why am I analyzing these people's website? Jesus, Shakia, this is why people that be acting, this is why folks be saying she thinks she know it all. How she gonna tell people how to do their website? You know, I know, my bad. Okay, but it's just weird to me. It's like you would think you would just go straight down, it'll be but okay. And then like this one over here, the 32-bit, pay attention. In other words, pay attention to what you're clicking on, okay? Pay attention. But 4.3.370 is the most stable version. And if you have a Windows PC, I highly recommend installing the 32-bit version and not the 64. In case you have like an older system, this is going to fare better for you than the 64-bit. Now, once you get up to the newer versions, because they're meant to work more so, you know, it's like going up to this version, you should really be upgrading your system. So they don't have a 32-bit version when it comes to the newer versions. So you're going to probably have to, if you have an older system, 4.3.370 is going to be the best option. I was on that for a long time until I recently upgraded, only because I plan to get a Cameo 5. And you have to have the newest version for that. But you're going to come here and you're going to download it. It's absolutely free. Now, there are paid upgrades for it that unlocks additional features, but the baseline of it, you can do so much with it. I'm still waiting for you guys' questions. So post your questions. I don't want to, you know, get to the point where I do these intros and then there's no questions, because then this is going to be a live video that was nothing but, hey, this is the introduction of me. So this is Silhouette America. Silhouette America is the parent company, and they're the creators of the Silhouette Cameo, Portrait, Curio, Alpha, and Mint machines. The program is, we're going to go over it and you'll see some things in, you know, within the system. I pretty much create 96.35% of the things that I create, or let's just say 93.65% of the things that I create, I either started off in Silhouette Studio or I'm designing it in Silhouette Studio, because it can be intimidating for someone coming from Cricut or even Canva, because Canva is more plug and play and not really designing. It can seem more complicated, but it is an amazing software. And once you really learn the ins and outs of it, the possibilities are completely endless. I'll just open up something real quick, only because, you know, my best friend on here who got me together and got me right before I embarrassed myself with the wrong year on this stole. I'm going to show you guys this. And this was fully, and I mean completely, both sides. So this is the side that was for the mom. It was all done, you know, as far as the setup in Silhouette Studio, creating the diagonal stripes, all of that done in Silhouette Studio, adding the text, the pictures, you know, bringing those in, you know, just adding the glitter effects, bringing in a PNG of like the sparkles and things like that and layering them. But the total layout of this was done completely in Silhouette Studio and also printed from Silhouette Studio. The way the grad is, this is a really old file. It's in my template vault. So anyone will have access to just the baseline. You add the colors how you see fit, but I created that with the offsets and all of that in Silhouette Studio. So you can do a lot within this program. Those who've been watching me for a long time, they've seen me create so many things within Silhouette Studio. Okay. But yeah, so this is like my program of choice, but I use Photoshop quite often, and I'm now starting to teach the beginning and the basics of it. So when you're wanting to join, I guess you would say, our academy, you're going to just select which class you want to start with. I'm always going to recommend Essentials of Silhouette Studio first, because it's our flagship program and it can help you understand other programs. And then we have other classes. Our design challenges are really good for just seeing the tools and functions used in an actual design. They're only $563. So definitely check those out as well. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining. Let's see. Do you teach in the do you teach in the designing course? I'm not sure what you mean. Or what do you teach in the designing course? So it all depends. Like we've had design courses for SVGs. We've had design courses for party favors. We've had them for memorial designs. I've had design ones for grad fans. We've had design courses for stoles. Like, so those are more like learning the ins and outs of the designing, but it is important to understand the program. Learning a program is not learning to design in a program, because you have to know where things are. You have to know what the tools do, how they function, how they interact with each other. And that is where any of my essentials comes in at. But then when it comes to designing, it's normally based off of whatever it is that you see. Like that's what that design class is going to be about. We will have one that's like random type things. Like we've done classes that were for business cards, thank you cards, creating your tags. We did basic text-based logos. We've done, what else was in Compliment Your Small Business? There's just so there's a lot of different things that over the years, like I said, I've been teaching. We've had our official like academy for about maybe 6 years. And because we used to be Sillaholics Anonymous Academy, and then we once we branded everything under 365, it became 365 Creative Academy, where we help you to unlock your creativity. I like the way that I love what our logo is for that. But we have what's called bachelor's, master's, and doctorate, and it's different levels of designing. So bachelor's will be teaching really, really beginner levels of like understanding like designing and concepts and layouts and composition and things like that. Masters will go in, a few more steps and adding this and adding that. And then doctorate is like for those really, really, really complex designs. Like, there's in there's scheduled for things like what's it like obituaries and e-guides and like all sorts, like where it's like it takes a lot of steps, a lot of legwork to really, really do those things. So we have different levels of designing. It's all levels of designing is not for everyone. I'm a firm believer, if you are a beginner, there are things that you just should not be trying, because you don't have the prerequisites to do it efficiently and not feel like, oh my God, this took me forever. And then you start to question or feel like people are questioning your worth, or you're still like, oh, well, they only want to pay this, but it took me 10 hours. Well, did it take you 10 hours because that is something that took 10 hours, or it took 30 hours? I was showing my Photoshop class a lady that does like the pictures and stuff with her kids. And then she goes in and she's like, this is 30 hours, 25 hours, 40 hours of editing in Photoshop, because it's so many like details. There's some things that are literally like, even if you are an expert, they will take hours. And then there are some things to where someone who knows a program will do it in no time. But for you, because you don't understand the program, you don't understand designing, it's going to take you longer. I'm a firm believer in that your customers should not pay for your lack of knowledge or experience. So if you're not quite, if you don't like my philosophy, I may not be the right teacher for you, but everyone who has really taken my classes, like, and really invested in the information, they take notes and they're applying it, they are thriving. Okay, so let's see. The classes are fire. Can you show how to use the replicate tool to go around a shape? Okay. We're going to go here. Oh, wait, no, let's see. I'm going to go there. I'm just going to make a circle, and you have to have your element. So let's, if you've ever been in my class, you know I love a good star. So we're just going to go like that and convert to path, fill that in with some color. Okay. And then you're going to go over to replicate, go over to the advanced replicate, and you're going to, I'm sorry, not advanced, object to path. And you're just going to drag, grab, show grab handle. Once you have the grab handle, which is this circle in the middle, you're going to take it and apply it. And then you're going to change the settings on it, depending on how big it is, how many times you want it to go around, if you want to rotate it. Yeah, you just play around with these and then release copies, and they are in the shape where it went around. I mean, these are huge for this. Let me see, I'm going to move this and duplicate, make you smaller, replicate. There you go. All righty. I have a lot. Okay. I have a Vivora 16 by 20 heat press in my cart. Cost effective because I was saving for a Walla press. But I don't support Vivora anymore because they don't stand behind, like, for y'all know, for me, something like a heat press, a company has to have a really good warranty. Like, that's not even if it's like kind of inexpensive, it's still a really big purchase because you can't just easily send it back. They may even ship it to you for free, but if something happens, that is really expensive, like, for shipping, because they are freaking huge. So something like that, if they don't have support, if you're going through, you ask the questions, if you have to go through their chat, do they offer replacement parts? Like, when something went wrong with my stalls, hey, they sent out a replacement part. They have techs that can come out. So for me, I'm not always willing to take that risk, which is why, like, with some of those really big, like, heat presses that people are getting that are like not, they're cost effective, I'm like, I just can't pull the trigger on that because where is the support and warranty? And I had an issue with something that I purchased from Vivora, and they had no replacement parts. So I literally have humongous paperweights. They were, if you've been around a while, it was kind of like that dome tumbler press, where I was doing full tumbler presses in a tumbler press, like before the ones that look like mug presses. It was like this big dome one. Well, but the silicone bed in there, or like hammock or whatever sleeve you want to call it, it broke. They don't have any replacements. I even went to Alibaba, AliExpress, trying to find them, and you cannot buy them by themselves. So I literally paid for what is big paperweights, and Vivora did nothing about it. And I'm like, how can you not have a replacement part for this? You guys should have ordered extra parts. So for me personally, I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying that you can do what you will, but if you're ever looking for a personal recommendation from Shakia the Professor, it's not a company that I personally would ever recommend. So the next one, I'm printing a stacked text using vinyl. So you're not printing. So you're cutting a stacked text using vinyl. How do I get the text to cut off so I can weed the words above and below? Knife tool. I know you taught this several times. However, I want to put an image in the center of the stacked text and have the words cropped around it. I got it done the long way by clicking the image, then clicking each stack word to crop it. Well, if you're going to do cropping, that's what you have to do. You cannot crop more than more than two things. So if it's something that requires cropping, it's not the long way. That's the way that it has to be done. All right, so we're going to come over here to TikTok because I saw we can't see what you're doing on the side. Oh, I wasn't. Oh, you mean here? It's just settings. You just move them up and down. That's all I was doing. So yeah, I just clicked on replicate. The replicate tool looks just like this. Looks like a little bug. And that brings this up. You click on object and then you just drag it. It'll bring the circle. Just drag it onto it. If you want to see the full screen, I recommend going to YouTube and get to our YouTube channel, one of our YouTube channels. Let's see. Incredible morning. I haven't used my Silhouette original machine in years, and I feel that I'm so behind. Do you have a class that can help me get back to learning and using my machine and software again? So it does not matter. I have 3 originals, a 2, a 3, a 4. The program is the exact same for all the machines. The machines all technically work the same way. The only difference between the Cameo 1 and 2 and and then like the 3 and the 4 is that the 1 and 2 you have on the machine load media or load mat. But with the 3 and the 4, once you just hit load, I think the 3 is just load, based off of how you have your screen, like how you have your file set up on your computer, it will automatically determine how much to pull it in because it will register, okay, hey, it's designed on screen with the mat. I'm going to pull it in a certain way. It's designed on screen without a mat. There's pros and cons, to that. But that's really the only biggest difference. Yes, the 3 and the 4 have dual cartridges, well, dual carriages for the blades. The 4, that other one is kind of, I'm gonna say it's pointless, but you can't really do 2 cuts at the same time. Whereas with the 3, you could do basically 2 cuts at the same time. But as far as setting them, they're the same. I personally do not use the auto blade feature. I'm always going to use a manual blade. So it's nothing changes in using, that because you have to turn it manually yourself. So all of that is literally the same. Now, we don't necessarily teach machine in the Essential Silhouette Studio, but you need to know the program to have your design set up to be able to send to the machine. So for the machine, we have what's called first cut. And I think that's actually the next one because I need to go over that. I'm waiting to get a Cameo. I was trying to wait to get the Cameo 15 before I did first cuts. But I may still do it and then do a separate class because the 5 is it is totally different than the other. So I may need to do the 5, first cuts as its own separate class because it is totally different. Like the way you load the mat, where the bar is, how you adjust the rollers, everything is different about that newer machine. So when I do first cuts, I may end up doing, I might even break it up to a session for the 1 and 2 for those who still have, well, not some people have that one. So it might not be a lot of people in attendance, but I might probably just do the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do 1, 4, 5. But that'll probably be the next one. But that's a different class than Essentials. Essentials will teach you what you need to know about the program, the software, and then first cuts about the machine. Can deep cut blades still be found for the Cameo 2? I don't know. I've never used a deep cut blade. I've never had a need for it. So I cannot say. Now, I don't work for them folks like that. So I'm not an insider. I'm not sponsored by them. I never know what they have coming out. I've never been invited to any of their summits or I have, so technical things like that and what all they have, I cannot help you. I mean, hey, this is the website where you can get a machine. You can go to Swing Design through my link. You can go to Silhouette Studio. You can go to Walmart, but the program, I know that inside and out. But as far as all the living, I've never used, I have one, I think their premium blade. I have their craft blade for my 4. It's a couple blades I have, and I have literally never ever used them. I paid extra for them, and I've never used those blades. What are you looking to cut with the deep cut blade? And I'll see if I've cut it with the regular blade. All right, you guys can continue to drop your questions. This is all question based. This is all question based. If you guys do not ask questions, there is no information to provide. It is all based off of your questions, concerns, frustrations, inquiries, things of that nature. When I was doing my fans and after laminating, the regular blade only cut through the first layer. How many passes did you do? What blade setting? I cut through it with laminate, and I don't use a deep cut blade. I set my blade to anywhere from 8 to 9. I just have this thing about, I don't feel like there's ever a need for me to take it up to a 10. I normally cut on a super fast speed, and I prefer to cut mine really on, and it's probably the thing too. Like I prefer to cut mine on my Cameo too, because they cut way different than the 4. But I just increase my blade depth, I increase my force and the speed, and also multiple passes. So I've never used a deep cut blade. I don't try to cut through things like one time, even when I'm cutting through foam. Like some people are doing like all the foam board stuff, and they're trying to cut through one time and they're dragging it. I do multiple cuts. Have you tried changing your blade? So I have it on a 9 or a 10, and it was 4 passes. What force? Okay, so a slow speed doesn't help. It actually is probably going to be better because you're making it thicker to have it on a faster speed. And then what is your force? Your force is going to be critical as well. $33. Oh, that okay, because you have one of the ones that go up too high. Bring it back down to about 28. Also make sure that it's actually tapping to 9 or 10, because if it's like not cutting all the way like through, your blade may not be tapping to 9 or 10. You have to make sure that it is completely seated, and when you're looking at it and you're looking at that little red thing on the inside, that it's actually on 9 or 10. But I've never actually cut at a force of 33. I think that is insane, because on all the other ones, I mean, your force goes up to, I think it goes up to 30. When it's like all those other ones, I'm like, man, like I didn't ever understand why they had that much force on the other ones anyway. But yeah, I'm normally at like a 20, anywhere from like a 20 with laminate on it, anywhere from 27 to 28, because it also depends on what paper. Okay, actually, let me ask this. What thickness of paper was the original cardstock? So did you like laminate 110 cardstock? Are you using a 3 mm laminate? Are you using a 5 mm? Are you laminating both sides? Are you only like, there's so many variables here now. And I don't know, I think that annoys people sometimes. I'll ask 1,000,001 follow-up questions because I don't know exactly what your setup is. Sorry, I had to answer a little person. 80-pound glossy cardstock. It's the 3M laminate pouches. Are you doing both sides or just one? Do you have a class on making stickers? Okay, Making stickers or designing stickers? Like which part of the sticker making process are you most like, or like, are you referring to? A sticker, because a stick, we actually just did some, I can't show you because they were for the TOOTH Airy Fairy, because someone just lost a tooth. But I actually just did a print and cut. I actually have a video. All right. So design wise, have you ever designed a shirt? Have you ever have you typed out text? Have you ever traced anything? Have you designed a tumbler? Have you like, or what all have you designed before? When you say both sides, do you mean pass it once, then flip? No, no, no. So you're pressing your laminate to yours. So you're not using a laminator. So, you know, some people say pouches. Some people will just take the laminate off and then put it on there and they will heat set just the one side. Some people were putting it like as a pouch and they were laminating both sides. Have I ever used Econo Subflock? Oh yeah, I have tons of videos where I've used that, or like even posting pictures of it. It's one of my favorite materials from Econo Transfer. Incredible morning from Maryland. I'm still working with a Silhouette 2. That's the best machine that they ever created. So never, ever, ever get rid of it. If you ever want to upgrade, don't be like, oh, I want to sell my 2 so I can upgrade. Never, ever, ever, ever get rid of your Cameo 2. It is the best. I would never recommend a 3. I think the 3 is the worst machine that they ever, ever, ever could create. Some people disagree, but being as someone who's had the machine since the first generation, when the 3 came out, I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb. They got a little bit better with the 4. I have not tried the 5 out. There were some things on the 5 that I don't like as far as like how it's constructed. I'll have a better opinion on that once I get my hands on one. But the 3, you can never, ever, ever get the professor to utter, you know, recommending getting it. It does what everything else kind of sort of does, but it's just not something I would ever personally recommend. So if you're just needing to add a machine because, you know, you just need another one for productivity, then yes, go with the 4 if you can find one. But the newer machine is a 5. But the 2 works well. So it's not this major upgrade to go to a 3, 4, or 5. If you go to the 4, you actually lose some features that the 2 has. Okay, I created my QR. Okay. So that's the only thing. So wait, are you asking because you want to turn your QR code for your website into a single base sticker? I use a lamination heat machine. Okay, so you put it in the pouch and you did both sides. So that's a little bit different. I've never laminated both. Like it's very rare that I use thermal laminate to kind of laminate them, but I also don't really laminate both sides because of how I make mine. Yeah, I don't know. If you're saying it's not cutting through, my only other recommendation before you go get a deep cut blade would maybe be just to get a manual blade and try that, because manual blades and auto blades cut differently. I think sometimes that they will they made the auto blade less efficient to make you want to buy the premium and deep cut blades, because I've never had that issue with my manual blade. I mean, sometimes it doesn't go through and I just have to keep adjusting it and then, you know, making it go a little bit deeper or whatever, and then cut through. So yeah, you just want to create a sticker. So you have your QR code. If you want it inside of a square, you're just going to download it. And if you're wanting to put it inside of a square, you're going to go to the left-hand side, go to the rectangle, and you're going to create a box, whether it's a rectangle or you hold down shift to make it a square. You're then going to take your QR code. There's really nothing that you have to do to it, and you're going to put it in the middle. And then once you have that in the middle and you have it sized to the size that you want, you know, you're going to group that together. You're then going to go over to send, and you're going to select it And under the cut settings, go cut edge. Once that's set to cut edge, you're going to go back to design, set your design page. So if you're going to do like 8.5 by 11-inch paper, turn your machine to whatever machine you're using, set your mat to whatever mat size you are using. Go over to registration marks. Now I have tons and tons of videos on registration marks and print and cut. It's essentially nothing more than a print and cut. There is nothing special, nothing crazy about it. If you've ever done a print and cut, no matter if it was on regular paper, if it was on sticker paper, if it was on vinyl, if you like whatever it is, if you've done a print and cut, you have essentially done all of the steps. You are equipped with everything that you need to know about creating a sticker. It's just a matter of printing to sticker paper. You're going to turn that on. You're going to set your thickness all the way up, because I don't understand why not. Like, why you didn't have that option? And you can decide, your length or whatever. Your insets, I wouldn't recommend necessarily like moving that around. Why are you not like this? Show cut border. And then you're just going to position. I can only fit 2 across at that size. If it's going to be in a circle, same thing. So you're going to position your stickers, and then you're going to print it, and then put on your mat and cut it. That's all 4 stickers. Yeah, stickers are nothing but print and cut. So if you've ever done a print and cut, you're halfway there. If you know designing, you're 75% of the way there. The rest of it is just selecting what type of sticker paper you're going to use and then putting on the machine and then cutting it. Thank you for the share. You are very welcome, GG Crafts. Don't be shy, guys. I don't mind. And you don't have to go surface level. Like, man, y'all have an expert. And sometimes the questions y'all ask, I'm like, who hurt y'all? So when y'all are afraid to ask questions, who hurt y'all? Because I'm here saying I am a subject matter expert on these things. Hit me with your best shot. Like, give me something challenging, something that's going to make me think. Where are those who are hungry for that knowledge, hungry to go to the next level with their business? Where are those? Those are the ones that, God, I need for you to bring them to this live. That's what I need for you to do. Direct them here, distract them, stop them wherever they are, and direct them. Put this on their For You page. Can you recommend sticker paper? Okay. Because I don't have like this sticker type business, right? If I was someone that had a business, I would be more invested into actually having a quality, I guess you would say, like sticker type paper. Sticker paper and vinyl decals are 2 totally different things. See, I like vinyl decals, which is why I got a Roland BN20. Sticker paper leaves paper residue. I'm not a big sticker gal, like that. Like my kids and stuff like stickers. I've made stuff for them. Are you wanting matte stickers? Are you wanting like glossy and things like that? I'm more of a matte girl, but I don't have a sticker business. So for me, stickers are not like the type of paper that I use. It's not this, oh my God, I want to have the best of the best to do like some general crafts for my freaking kids, or even it's for a party. If it's just like to seal a bag, them kids gonna rip that ish open. Like, I've learned my lesson. Like, certain things, I find that crafters want to be like, oh, well, because I want to charge more. Oh, I'm charging this because I'm using the best of the best. I'm using pearlized paper for these stickers. They're holographic, they're laminated, they're this, they're that. And your customer's like, I just need some to seal this. Like, I don't care for all that. I'm not running a business. I'm not reselling it. I just want this little plastic bag to stay closed long enough for me to get some good pictures, because I know these kids want to rip it open. But as businesses, it's like, I don't sell crap. They don't know my worth. I'm just not that person. So I cannot give you a recommendation on something that you would like if you're like, I think the ones who like invest, like really, really want good sticker paper because you have to be able to write on. Like, there are certain things that people are looking for. If you're someone that's making stickers for planners, they want one where, hey, a pen you'll be able to write on it with a pen, things of that nature. I'm just not that person. And that would be like online labels. There's like a bunch of them. Do you need waterproof? Or are you like, okay, doesn't really matter if it's waterproof because it's not going to be anywhere near water. I use a pigment ink printer. It doesn't have to be a waterproof sticker. There's so many things where it's like these are the things that you guys need to research and really know how you plan to use a sticker. You may have to have 3, 4, 5 different brands of stickers for each of the different projects that you do. If you're looking for like one universal sticker, I'm not going to be able to recommend that. For the stuff that we do, do I think it's the greatest? Hells no. It's especially when I did these Capri Suns. I really did not like them. But we had got a bunch of them for the labels on our cartridges, and it's just the Koala brand like sticker paper. It's just Koala brand sticker paper, and they have a vinyl sticker paper. That one to me is too thin. But unless you laminate it, cold laminate it. But yeah, I'm just using like that one. I used to use, oh my God, it's been so long since I used it. Oh gosh, it's been so long. I can't even think of the name like for that one. But lately, because even purchased a bunch of this A-Sub or Koala. A-Sub. Actually, we have both A-Sub and Koala, like vinyl sticker paper or just like sticker paper. That's pretty much what I have used. I actually prefer matte versus glossy. Like I'm definitely more of a matte girl. What's the difference? Ooh, okay, I like that. What's the difference between Canva and Photoshop? That's a question I love. Y'all like, I definitely need you guys to double tap the screen. We only have, come on now. TikTok. Seriously, that's how y'all gonna do me. I'm not worth a few more likes than that. I need y'all to double tap the screen. Double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap. All right, come on, let's get it up to 1,000. If you're watching on YouTube, click out of the live chat to give the video a thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, just go ahead and tap one of those reactions. All right. So, okay, we're at 1,000. There's a whole lot of differences with Canva and Photoshop. Now, I don't know if with this merger and Canva basically doing an acquisition for Affinity, if things design wise will change for Canva. But at the end of the day, so let's break down what Canva is and what Canva is not. Okay. Canva and its original their original thought process for what this program would be for. It's something that is web-based or like mobile-based, like you can access it from a computer, your phone, your mobile device, like tablet, iPad, or whatever. And it's a lot of like templates. It was heavily, thank you so much for the shares. It was heavily template based. And it was a way for those who aren't very, like putting all these things together creatively and like just making it all mesh and maybe choosing the right fonts. It was a way where These things are pretty much set up for you. Fonts were selected, colors were selected, and all you had to do was change out the words, change out the pictures. It's literally plug and play. But with that, you are technically limited in how you can customize things. You can do things like change colors. Yes, you can change fonts. You can add elements, but you can do that in any program. When it comes to sizing, let me see. Oh, like brochures, newsletters, invitations, really social media posts. A lot before there were all of these apps, like AI apps that was doing like this, and or doing the long way in like on Instagram. This was a really easy way to do like animated posts, add little things to it, because anything that was technically a video, you can take something that, like here, it's a very static picture. But the moment you add any animation to it, you now have to save that as an MP4, basically as a video file. This one right here, where it's just a static picture and you have those things flashing, that instantly makes that a video file, which was optimal for things like shorts and reels, stories, because it is a video. That's why it became really, really popular for those who are really, really heavy into IG. It's most recently has become this full-fledged, like as they have added things. If you weren't around when, like on the onset of Canva, to you, it just seems like the greatest design platform ever, but that's not how it started. I'm pretty sure Creative Fabrica's system will do it the same way. You go on there now, it's very, very plain, basic. There's really nothing to it. Hopefully, they will change it and it'll upgrade. The way that we know Canva now will probably change because they acquired Affinity. So now they have access to more technology and resources and codes and this and the third, to where they may end up adding different things to the Canva platform. My understanding is the price of it has actually already gone up. Price wise, what do people call? Photoshop is actually less expensive than Canva. So some people will say that, it's the cost. But if you were to just get the photography plan, which is $9.99, Photoshop is less expensive than Canva. However, Photoshop doesn't come with as many elements and resources as Canva. So for that price point and what you get when you upgrade to Pro, it makes it worth it to where it's more valuable than Photoshop. The allure of what's it people call? Canva is all of the elements. So whatever it is that you want, you would be able to find somewhere, like there's some form of something in this program. So let's make this a little interactive so we can get some engagement and get, some algorithm boosting. Give me something to search within elements on Canva. Hey. Now that's a business gem. All stickers are not created equal. Be specific in your use to know which to choose. Yes, you're very welcome. Oh, they are definitely. We use them for our so we can tell the difference between our pigment ink cartridges and our sublimation cartridges when we pre-fill them. And it always seems like, okay, they're fine on there, because like, you're not going to really like wet them. I end up using them in a pinch for Zion Imani's Capri Suns, which I had used another brand before. I had ran out, and they're called something Mr. Somebody. Man, I got to ask Ratisha what they were. I can't remember. And even with those, like I like them, but like Ratisha, she didn't, because her HP did not. And that's the other thing too, the type of printer that you have, right? All sticker papers don't work well with all printers. So I can't think of the name. Is Mr. Somebody. But Ratisha never liked it because it didn't work well with her HP. It would never dry, but it worked great with the Epson printer. And I'd used those for years. If you've watched that video when I made like the Christmas ones for Capri Suns for MJ when he was what in like the 3rd or 4th grade, it was that Mr. I don't want to say Mr. Water something. It was Mr. then something. I used those. I put them in the refrigerator and whatnot. So Zion Imani's home. When I went to go take them, I ended up putting them in the freezer, trying to get them to like, be cool for his birthday party at school. Child, that was the worst thing ever. I ended up having to snatch half those things off and re-put them on. I had to dry it and all this stuff because the way that they broke down, it was like they looked horrible. They were not picture worthy. So that was one to where, oh baby, it can't get not a nary of water, even with pigment ink on it, because the paper would break down. It was coming off. It was just horrid. And then I tried to put, like this last order that I did, I tried to put laminate over it and it made it too heavy to where it didn't stick. That wasn't a good idea. So yeah, it's a lot when it comes to, I have quite a bit of sticker paper actually here. I just don't remember all the names because I purchased so much of it and I'm not big into stickers like that. Like I just print it, for whatever I need. Like I said, the little one got one from the TOOTH and I literally just did it this morning. All right, no one is gonna put anything in the chat. What elements do you guys want me to? Come on, y'all don't do this to me. Like, why do y'all do this to me? Like, I've been on live videos and I've seen people are engaging and people ask a question. Hey, give me this. And y'all, it's like a give and take. All I asked was name something for me to search. I want to search for an element. And on 4 platforms, no one, not a t-shirt. Like, it has to be like a design, like if you're like within a theme, like let's say you're designing for something, you're looking for elements for this design, what would you search for? I'm trying to show like what people use Canva for. Hello, I have your Shopify series and I'm going through it now. I was wondering your thoughts on using Shopify for your info@support email, or do you suggest a Google Workspace and connect? You should always have a branded email. So you can, where did you purchase your domain? So even though you have a Shopify, hopefully you're not going to use the web address of Sonia Davis Designs at .myshopify.com. You want to be able to have a domain, whether that domain comes from Google, which is now Squarespace, or if you get it from any other host site, you always want to connect your web presence, your domain to your Shopify. Okay, what kind of background? Okay, I don't think you're going to probably find an element. Let's see what comes up for prom. I don't think you're going to find like, not under template. So we have to go to elements and then I'm going to type in prom. Now I think that's a bit of a stretch. So yeah, you just have graphics that just say prom, watch, someone like dancing. Like this is what their interpretation of prom is. Most proms have an actual theme, and that would probably be the better thing to select. I mean, there's some people in somewhat like elegant type gowns, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, yeah, I wasn't really expecting it to be too much for this when it comes to prom. Is like just dresses and stuff like that. But what they do have, I was about to say, it looks like, oh, they have paper dolls. Well, that's a guy. I don't want him. Where is the girl version of this paper doll? Okay. So it has this, but baby, them shoes is crazy looking. We're going to position. We're going to bring her to the front. Oh my gosh, I'm so used to using keyboard shortcuts to move around my screen, and I can't do that here. So they have like, well, I guess this dress ain't made for her. And then she is okay, bad example with this paper doll because I won't be able to put her feet through here because with them, this is a vector file. The fact that you can actually change all of the colors. This one is not. This is like a flattened PNG because you don't have the options to change each individual color. This is a vector file. So anywhere there is black, I can click on that and I can change the color, and it's going to change wherever there's black. Now, you would not be able to go in and change. So even her eye color changed to blue because that was an original black element. So if you wanted to change her shoes, which are black in this, to blue, purple, whatever, you're going to automatically also change the eye color, which that's not what you wanted. There's no way to ungroup these and put them in individual layers. Now, a program like Photoshop, if these, like if it came in flattened, you would have to go in and you can isolate each one, recolor it, and like separate the layers and move them around and change them. But in a program like Silhouette Studio, a program like Illustrator, a program like Affinity Designer, you can just ungroup that SVG or that vector file, and you will be able to click on the individual elements. Canva does not allow for you to do that. Whatever is already there is what's there, and you can click and change, but you cannot ungroup it and truly customize it. And then something like this is just a flattened image. The only thing that you can do is, like, if you wanted to change the colors, you could probably try and use like certain duotones, but it's also going to change the skin. But then you can try to change out different things. They used to have it where like you can pick up on certain tones, but her earrings have yellow, just like her dress. Even though it's brown, browns have a yellow undertone. So even if you change by colors, you would still change the skin. Like, it's little things like that. Whereas Photoshop, which I'll do here, I'm going to go add page. I'm going to bring her down here. I'm going to save page 2. So we're going to go share, download, page 2, PNG, transparent, done, download. And we're going to open that up in Photoshop. All right. So I didn't check transparent background. My bad. So I'm going to magic wand and then add this, and we're going to delete it so that, I didn't do this part. So that's transparent. Now for the dress, I can duplicate this layer. I'm going to do technically a little bit more of like a complicated way of doing it, but because there's other ways, like you can select by color. So we're just going to go quick selection. I'm going to go here to start it, and we're going to do, which I should have made my brush size smaller. Let's go minus, make my brush size smaller. I don't need her hand, and I don't need her legs, but I want to add this. Okay. And now that I have that selected, I'm going to do it as a clipping mask. It's going to look like nothing has changed. But on this layer, if I turn this one off, it's just the dress. Turn this back on. I'm going to, instead of, I can do a saturation. I can do an adjustment layer, a hue and saturation layer above it. Oh, wait, hold on. Because it's going to do everything that's below it. So let's do a clipping mask. So it's just this layer. And I can change this to a different color. You cannot do it that way because you cannot isolate her dress in Canva. So there are a lot of different, like Photoshop is a true design software. Most of the elements that you find in Canva were not created in Canva because you cannot manipulate shapes. You don't have edit points. It's where someone has created in something like Photoshop, or like this is a vector-based file. This was probably created in like Illustrator, or like maybe Fresco, like ones where you can like, draw out or whatever. And then they're saved as a PNG, and then they have a creator account, and they basically their content lives and their creations live on Canva for others to use, and they get paid a certain amount of money for it. But it was created in a program like Photoshop, like Illustrator, like Silhouette Studio. Canva is plug and play. It's not a design program. It's an arrangement program or software. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Let me go back. Let's see. I mean, I'll just go through a few of these. Like someone said flowers. And there's a bunch of flowers. So there's graphics, there's photos of flowers with the backgrounds a lot of times removed. There's videos of flowers. There's no shapes. There's frames that have flowers. So you just end up with a lot of different, you have a lot of different options when you just type in a word. Like so many things come up. You may have been thinking along the lines of one way, and then it just like it floods you with ideas. It's like, oh wow, I didn't think about this. Oh wow, that's nice. And that's kind of like the really good part about Canva. If you're struggling, you have a creative block, just typing in some keywords and like looking at things here, it can spark something for you to unlock your creativity. So I saw flowers. I see gold numbers. So gold for one, I'm going to go over here. Right. And so you have all these elements. So gold numbers. So you can get very specific. And there's different styles of this. So there's these numbers. Is it more of a rose gold, yellow gold, Vegas gold? You literally have, there's a neon one. You have an infinite number of options for those elements to now pull together. Okay, I got to whisper. So one of the projects I just worked on, Zanimani lost his third or fourth tooth, one of them. So of course, Tooth Fairy had to come. He's watching Bluey. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me on TikTok because I got to whisper. My mouth is right up to my microphone for you guys on Facebook and YouTube. So hopefully you guys can hear me. But he was watching an episode of Bluey, and then MJ was like, this one, he's like, because the Tooth Fairy never gave me no stickers. So I'm guessing because Zani Mani watched an episode of Bluey, when I guess he lost his tooth or whoever it was, they got a sticker. And then it's this whole thing of, I guess the Tooth Fairy in the show Bluey gave $5. So he wants $5. And then he wanted a sticker. And I'm like, oh. So Even had to wake me up because last night I was tired and they took forever to go to bed. Even woke me up at like 5:30 this morning so I can get up and design. So the design that I did, okay, let's go back to home. I went on, and Canva's the first place that I thought of because you can literally type in Tooth Fairy. There were certificates, like if you go into like on the main page, you type it in, they actually give you like certificates that are from them saying, oh, you lost your first tooth on this day, or you lost this tooth. You can put like whatever number is like on this day, put like there's like certificates. But if you go into here, it's elements. And so I went through and it was a couple different ones and stuff here. So I just picked a couple of them and put it on the page. Then I saved that as a PNG. I can't create the sticker from here. Like I can get the element from here. This is something I do all the time. There's amazing elements. I pay for Pro for this to be like my own personal like Etsy where I can just get elements. Like that's just kind of how I operate a lot of the times outside of like ebooks and brochures and things like that. Videos and stuff. Element wise, design wise, I don't have time. Like it's just team too much. I can't zoom. I can't pan my screen. I just can't. Okay. But like brochure, things like that, and like planners. I love Canva for those things. Anything marketing and branding, love Canva for it. thumbnails, love Canva for it. But full on designing, lies you tell, not gonna happen. So then I brought this into Silhouette Studio, which I'm going to go File, Open, Downloads, and it is right here. So this comes in, right? So I need to make this into a sticker, which, wait a minute, recent, there we go. I was like, wait a minute, where is that? But I have to come back here anyway, just to show you how to trace and detach. So I come on here, I go select trace area, place my box around it. It's going to light up. I'm going to take this up. I already know it has to be 99 because there's like too much white on this tooth, or it's like really, really light. And then I'm going to hit trace and detach. Oh, and he loved it. He cried. His mom told me he was crying like when he put the jacket on and stuff. So even though I was upset because I was rushing, like I had no sleep. By the time they got here, I had no sleep. I was not thinking straight. I really should have printed and cut straight to the flock. That way I can press it at 300 degrees and just press it one time. But I was so exhausted to where I had to press it twice, and I didn't use a pressing pillow, and it kind of discolored the background because it was more of like a velvet material for his jacket. So I was a little upset, but he didn't care. He loved it. Everybody was raving about it. My brother was there, and he's just like, everybody kept asking him where, and he was like, man, I keep telling y'all, like, my sister be tripping. She be tripping. I'm like, it's not that. It's like, I just got a lot of stuff going on. Like, but yeah, they want me to do more. And I'm like, I can't do all that, y'all. Like, I definitely would need help. But anywho, I'll show it to you. So I did my trace and detach. I click, I move like the negative space. Now these are all individual elements. Oh, I thought I almost got busted. I started talking louder. I thought I heard little feet. So let me go back to talking a little bit lower. So I'm just going to delete this, and I think I selected this one. But let's just do, so it doesn't really matter which one it is. Here, there's like these little circles that's like far away. Hold on. Pause. Was there something else there? Okay, no, I moved it. That was from the crown. I'm like, where did those little circles come from anyway? So when I moved it, my bad, it was actually supposed to go. Those were like the little ones for the crown. So because those are loose, if I wanted to do this as a sticker, I want to keep it all together. I'm going to select all. Yeah, I'm going to group it, but that would still cut separately. Like, and I would have to have transfer tape. This is where you use something like an offset, but offsets are better for kids anyway to make the sticker a little bit easier. Apply, and then I only cut the outside edge. So I use it for that all the time, where I'm just going to go in, get some really cute stuff, and I utilize both programs. So this one I could probably cut as is because everything is like connected. Once you do the trace and detach, it has edit points around it. It's ready to cut. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, it has just like a lot of hold on. Oh, shoot. I'm about to get busted. Okay. Whew, Jesus Christ. I heard little feet. All right, so I'm going to go to recent, and let's go to Jada. Is it this one? Yeah. Oops. Yeah, see, it's 1,000,001 copies on here. We end up going with the black instead of the other colors because the picture I had the first time weren't the shoes that he was going to wear. I'll post it. She actually posted and tagged me. So if you like, I think if you go to my page on Facebook, it will show up because she tagged my name. So I think it shows up on, let me see. Let me make sure. But I think it shows up on my page. That's how that works because she tagged me in it. Yeah, because see, she tagged me in this shirt for her daughter. for the shirt that I made. If you were on those TikToks, you saw the chip bag and the Capri Suns and the buttons and the water labels, but you didn't see the shirt because that was last minute. But I used the same element. So she tagged me. So it should show up. Oh, my bad. She didn't. She just tagged me thanking me. She didn't tag me in the picture. Dang it. Of the shirt. Oh, my sister is so pretty in this picture. Oh my God. Yes, sissy. Embrace your natural way. I love it. My sister is cute, honey. That's my blood sister. My mom, my sister from my mom. My sister real cute in that picture, child. But yeah, that's how it ended up coming out, and we end up going with black and just putting an outline around it. Let's see. No, I have a domain with my businessname.com. I wanted to know if Google Workspace is good for info at business name. So whatever your business name, like wherever your .com is, you should have an option to add email addresses to it. And it should have an unlimited number of email addresses, because you won't be able to do the info at your business name because your businessname.com is already attached to something. So you have to go into the settings for whoever's hosting your domain and create an email address for info at. You can't just go through Workspace because it doesn't, that's not where your domain is hosted at. So if you end up doing another one, whether it's through Google Workspace, which is now Squarespace for domains, or something through Shopify. With Shopify, when you get the domain through Shopify, you do the info. It's going to still filter through, like, how can I say? It's going to forward to a different email. And so when you go to send, like, let's say you can get one and people can send you stuff, but when you want to go send out an email, it may not say like info at hs635.com. It'll say something else. So you want to go through the domain, like whoever's hosting your domain, and you should have an option to add email addresses to it. Like our HS Inc. one, we have a bunch of different, the first part of it, we have a bunch of different email addresses under hsinc365.com. You were never any good. Oh, I'm the bomb at it. Okay, wait, let's see. I'm putting our family tree together. The actual design will be for a t-shirt, but also a 3D rendition where the leaves will hang on an actual tree, like art. So things like this, like encouraging words, grunge texture, something that you can easily search. But like, I don't know like what you would get if you search encouraging words, because that's not really like a design element. But maybe if you put in like the word that you were looking for. So now this is where you may use Chat GPT to give you ideas of the words that you should use. And then you're going to go and type in those exact words into Canva to look for a single element. Things like confetti is good. Black avatar may not, like, because of the way like somebody what one person may be thinking of when it comes to that compared to somebody else, you may not get a lot of results. That's something that's it might be hard to like really find what you're looking for, because what you're looking for may not have been the vision of somebody else. Okay, let's see over here. Let's see, I went to prom, I'm trying to learn Canva. Okay. If I want to laminate a label for a favor communion party, do I laminate cold or hot? It doesn't matter. I've used both, but I prefer cold because it's just adhesive. But that can also wrinkle a little bit more. It's a little bit more likely to wrinkle and crinkle if you're not putting it on smoothly. And you have to, unless you have a cold laminator like I have, but I prefer cold lamination versus the hot one, but either will work. And do you use anything? You can laminate anything. So I've laminated both cardstock and photo paper. A stole, you're not going to get like, you're just going to get. So here's the thing, right? If you're trying to design a stole, you don't look for stole. You look for the elements that you want to be on the stole. Because if you search for stole, it's just going to give you an element that just looks like a stole, if it even does that. So yeah, see, it's just going to give you elements like that. It's not going to help you design. It's not going to possibly give you like a template. It's just going to give you stoles. You want to look for the actual elements that you want to put on there. Question: how do I adjust images that can be converted into a coloring book? I'm not quite understanding your question. And from what program are you referring to? Like getting the images, what program are you going to set them up, print them as, and are you wanting to know like how to trace it? Like, yeah, I need a little bit more. What is that? Nyasha? I need a little bit more. So no, this is Canva. So I'm not sure at what point that came in because I'm just now scrolling up, but this is Canva. This one is Photoshop. And this one is Silhouette Studio. Oh, the stole? Thank you. Yes, essentially, well, elements are clip arts, which most people, they think of clip arts, they're thinking either a JPEG or a PNG. But in Canva's case, they're going to call it, I think they call it graphics. And it can be basically a vector file, but it's not a vector file where you can separate the elements. All you can do is just change and like you can change and customize them, but you can't separate them and like move them around. But elements is anything that you're adding to it. A background, something that has like it's contoured. It's gonna be like a little sparkle, a little flare, a fade, glitter. All of these are just design elements. Technically, text is a design element. Okay, Canva and created image in Dolly. So that means that it's not a true coloring book, because a lot of times when you do the AI and you act like a coloring book, it's like it still has like some shading in there. But if it's already set up with black and white lines and you want to use that as is, you're just going to set your design page up. So it should have downloaded as either a JPEG or a PNG, depending on how you have it set up. And then you're just going to, I don't know how big of a coloring book you're trying to make, but you're just going to create the size. So let's say you were doing 8.5 by 11 and you're just going to fold it in half. You're going to, or actually no. So if you want it to be a full 8.5 by 11-inch page, like each page, like a regular coloring book, then you would make your design page 11 by 17, have like an invisible like split, and you're just going to put your elements all around it. If it's like an 8 by 10, then that means that your also depends on like how many pages, because a thicker coloring book is not quite the same like when you just go and fold it and just staple it in the middle, and how you kind of size it. You may have to have a spine on it, so you may have to create your design in like your design page. Let's say that would be double, that would be well, it'll still be 10. So it'll be like 16 by 10, but then you have to account for the spine and where, like, so your actual pages for stuff, it may only be like, it's going to be like a small margin, like inward. There's a lot of, again, I don't know exactly how you want to set it up. If you're trying to set it up to have coloring books printed through KDP, they have templates that are available for you, and it will tell you exactly what dimensions to set your file up as, no matter what design program you're going to design in. But if you're just using Dolly and you're already setting it up and you're having it created as like coloring book pages, the only issue with that is they just take something and they kind of put black outlines. but they also include a lot of shading. It's not like your traditional just coloring book pages. And if you want it to be like a traditional one, you're going to have to go in and manually trace that. Someone who's great with that, if you've never seen her content, Coco Twins, amazing, 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 amazing with that. That's my city girl, period. Hey, friend. Is it best to save your work as a PDF, print, or PNG? It depends on what it is that you're trying to use it for. So there's no universal setting. The ones that I used, I saved those as a PNG. So let's say you are someone that wants to do like I did, where I pulled elements from there. I want to pull it into Silhouette Studio, and I want to be able to do a print and cut. If you do not have Designer Edition Plus, or Business Edition, you would not be able to open up a PDF in Silhouette Studio in the free basic version. You would have to open up, you only have the option to open up a PNG or a JPEG as far as like a design element. So you're going to have to save it as a PNG, preferably with the transparent background, and then you can open that up in Silhouette Studio. If you open it up, like I say, you save it as a PDF, you open it up, it's going to ask you, do you want to open it up as an image or a vector? You open it up as an image because it's not in vector format anyway. So it's not going to really, only thing, like it might have them already separated for you, maybe. But for the most part, you'll do like an image and you're still going to trace and detach anyway. PDFs are portable document formats, and a lot of times it's like brochures and things of that nature. The only thing, I'm not saying the only thing, but one of the things that I do save as a PDF is, well, two things. Whenever I'm designing in Silhouette Studio, I save as a PDF because the PNG save option isn't the greatest for like stuff like DTF. You end up with white lines around. So I save as a PDF, and then I just go into Photoshop to convert it to a PNG. For my Roland BN20, I have to save it as a PDF in order for it to maintain the cut lines, because PDF is a form of vector, like it's a vector extension. So there are times, like, depends on what it is that you plan to do. You may need to save it as a PDF. And for other things, if you're doing DTF, if you're doing like, you know, you need to have a transparent background, you're going to save it as a PNG. If it's something that's solid, it goes to the edges and stuff like that, you're going to save it as a JPEG. Each file extension serves a different purpose. So one is not best. One is not better than the other. It is really based on how you plan to use it. I think it's like a half an inch. I want to say it's a half an inch or quarter inch, one of those. But yeah, if you got like I think the half an inch, if you got like the 1 inch, 2 inch, like that one, yeah, it's gonna be way too thick. It's either half an inch or quarter inch. When transferring images fonts through Silhouette DS, this was Silhouette Studio, do you recommend saving as a PNG, PDF, or vector? Taking them into Photoshop? Well, it all depends like how I plan to use it. If I want it to be layered, I save as a PNG. Well, it doesn't even matter, PNG, or like there's no, you know, yeah, if it's just filled with color, I'll save it as like an SVG, take it over to Illustrator, do some things over there, then export it so that it becomes layers in Photoshop. If you take it straight from Silhouette Studio to Photoshop, then you're going to have to separate them individually. So let's take, here, let's just do her name only because it's close together. So with this, like this, if I were to take this over directly into Photoshop, it's going to be like this. I'm not going to be able to separate any of the layers. I have to do, that's why I go through Illustrator if I wanted this set up like this, but I wanted the layers. If I wanted to take this into Photoshop and be able to add to it and whatnot, I have to separate these before I meant to make a duplicate, not move it. So we're going to move this down, move this. I could probably do this one in Photoshop, so I probably don't necessarily need it, but we're going to keep it there. Group. And I know I'm not going to need the shadow because I'm going to create, like I would actually be creating that in, oh, I just did the wrong one. No, it's right here. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one because this one is right here. Even though I can't see it, just got to make sure that I'm going to temporarily turn on some line color just so that I can see where it is. And then I'm going to turn that off. Okay. So I'm going to go. Oh, wait, shoot. I know what I wanted to do. Okay, no, I had to make sure everything here was separated. So I'm going to go File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive. I'm going to save that as a PDF. Are you referring to Canva, Leona? Are you referring to Canva? And now I'm going to go into Photoshop. I'm going to go File, Open. And so this is going to come in here. We're just going to hit OK. All right. So see what I said? Like technically the whole thing is just one file. The entire thing is just one file. If I click on it, they're not separated. I'm not going to show you how to do it in Illustrator now. There's some things, hey, then I'll never make any money. Like y'all won't ever join my classes. But there are things that I do to go from Silhouette to Illustrator to Photoshop where everything is layered. I use it a lot for like my templates and stuff like that. So I can technically still layer this where I can adjust them individually. I am going to duplicate. Anyone that has taken any of my classes, no, I don't care what program I'm in. What's the one thing the professor is going to say to do? Oh, we're going to duplicate. And we're going to duplicate and we're going to duplicate. I love me a good duplicate, okay? So that your original always stays intact. You should never overwrite your original of anything. In my class, they know if we're adding an element to the mix, we're bringing in a picture, before we crop, trace and detach, subtract, change the color, hue, saturation, we're going to duplicate, okay? When we're doing text, before we do anything, we're going to duplicate. Like, that's just how we roll. How we roll. Okay. So we're going to duplicate this layer. And you can turn the original off. So we have to now separate these. I'm going to come over here just to my regular, just marquee tool, because it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. I don't have to use a lasso. As long as I can make a straight line across and get the whole thing. Yep. I'm going to go Control X, which is going to cut that. And then I'm going to, oh, wait, my lasso went away. Hold on. My marching ants went away. There we go. Those are my marching ants. I'm going to Control X to get rid of it. Control V. It's going to pop up in the middle. I'm just going to pull that down. Okay, I have to physically click back on this layer. I'm going to do another marquee. And if you know keyboard shortcuts, you can use those. It's not going to affect this one. X, see, that one didn't cut off. V. Control V. I'm going to do that again. And one more time. And this one I don't have to do because now it's the only thing that's on this original layer because we copied and we cut and pasted all of the other ones. Now, I'm going to just turn all these off. I'm going to come here. I'm going to duplicate this one because I need another one. I told you I'll never mess with my original. So if I were to come here and let's say I were to do a color overlay, right now it's on normal. I'm going to go to, so I'm going to move out to the side so you can see all of them. Let's go overlay. You're not going to, oh, wait, why are you still black? I could have sworn I said blue. Okay, so that one was normal and it will change certain things based off of that. So it changed like the background. There's like an overlay. If I go normal, everything turns blue. You don't even see the all of the different elements here because there's no blend mode on it. Then if I go to lighten, you can see like this area right here looks more of like I can't zoom in. When you're like here, you can't really like zoom in. So I had to do it beforehand. So if I go screen, you see the colors change. If I go color dodge, they change. If I go color burn, they change. So there's different, ooh, that was nice. There's different results based off of what blend mode you are using. Okay, but everything is going to change. I'm going to turn that off. Whereas now that I've made them all individual, I can click on any of the layers, which I don't need this one. So like the bottom one, we can leave that as black. But let's say here for my white one, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it as I make the changes. So it was very flat before. I can now go into my layer styles. I can add beveling and embossing to this. And I can choose for it to be pillow or inner beveled or outer beveled, or which you can't really see because everything is white on that. It's like a transparent background. I can go regular emboss and I can change the depth of it, change the size of that emboss feature. I can soften it. Okay. And then now when I go in and okay, so whatever's on top is like the order that it goes in. So we're going to move this up. We're going to move this underneath. So I can pull this one up and this one here, which I now see that I need to adjust this because it's a little bit too much, blur to the outside. But if I turn on the original, so this was the before where it was flattened and just kind of had things to make it kind of pop. And this is the one where we're using Photoshop to enhance it. So it just depends on what it is we're going to do. Like I said, I can technically go through, who do people call? Illustrator first, and those layers would have already been set up for me. Do I teach 101? Yes, I do. Our rate for just general questions like designing one project at a time or just kind of like an overview, it's $50 an hour. If it is full on step by step, beginning to end of like a full on project, like all over shirts, or hey, help me with like planning out my kid's birthday party, flavors, all this other stuff, or if it's anything business related, it is $150 an hour because normally most people normally use that more so for business stuff. But our classes are where it's at. Like the way that I teach my classes, you're going to feel like it's a one-on-one session. I always leaving opportunities for you to ask questions. We have study hall sessions. So our group classes are not like anything you have ever experienced. And if you've never experienced one because you think that it's no different than YouTube, try me. Okay. Let's see. One more. Okay. So you can't really increase. So some people think that they're increasing like the DPI to make it a better quality. I am one where I'm normally designing to scale. If you design to scale, that original setting is going to work for you because you designed it at the size that it needs to be. There's not going to be any expansion. Changing your DPI doesn't necessarily improve the quality, but if you end up making it or saving or creating your file in a certain like a DPI, like let's say 300, it just means that you'll be able to, if you have to, take it from its original size and now blow it up much bigger. It's not going to distort. So that's like they will design Mickey Mouse in a specific size, and you're going to see it. Of course, you don't want it to open at 8 feet tall because that's a lot of data and it's going to take up a lot of space on your computer if every last file was saved as 8 feet tall. It'll take forever to save, take forever to open. So you will get it in a smaller size, but because it was designed in a program with 300, 400, 500 DPI, someone could take that same image that may have come in at just 12 inches in height, and you can now make that 9, 10. You're going to put it on a billboard. It can be 20 feet tall and not lose its quality because of how it was originally saved. That taking up that slider, thinking that you're improving the quality, it doesn't really do anything if you designed it in a small format. So if you went in and you're never changing your document size, you're not making it based off of what it is that you plan to like kind of sort of design or whatever, at least proportionate to that. And you're using something like an Instagram story, that's only meant to be a 1x1 on the biggest, like, let me see, I'm not sure which one is bigger. Well, let's say an iPad screen. It's not meant to really be that big. And a lot of times it's really based off of like it being on a phone, because when you save that and you open it up, it's going to be like the inches is going to be like 1.34 inches. That's really small. Now, when you go and blow that up, even to 5 or 6 inches, it's going to be distorted. So more importantly than changing that number or that quality at the end, it's more important to set your document size up the correct way. Let's see. Question about paper for DTF printing. With the paper, do you have... So DTF does not work without powder. DTF does not have paper. DTF has film. So you print onto the film, and before it dry, the reason why it's on film is so that it does not dry. When you print to paper, it's going to soak it up. It's going to instantly dry. So you're never printing to paper. You're printing to a film that will allow that ink to stay wet for a short period of time, that allows you to put the powder over it and then cure it. But DTF does not work without the powder. Oh yeah, that was literally one of the first things we talked about in the essentials of Photoshop, is that Photoshop can be used more so for enhancements. I create designs in Silhouette Studio and I only take it there for enhancements sometimes. You're very welcome. All right, we're 2 hours in. I'm good because it's a day off. I do have some stole designs I have to work on, but technically today was a day off for me. So this is what I like to do in my free time instead of going. I live in Miami, but I'm not a beach person. We're gonna probably try to go to like the pool, but I live in Miami. It's hot. I'm going once the sun goes down just a little bit. It is not set to Hades. Okay, so I'm willing to stay on for a little bit longer as long as you guys have questions for me. If there are no questions, hey, we'll close out. If you have a question, type in hold on. So I'll wait for you to post your question. If not, we will close out. But all questions are, it's free game, guys. If you're new here, my name is Shakia Lavelle. I'm also known as Shakia the Professor. I am well versed in all things that concern crafters and creatives. If it is designing, Silhouette Studio and the cutting machines, really any cutting machines, I have pretty much cut on them all. So it doesn't matter what question is. You can ask me a Cricut question if you wanted to. Anything business, website. I'm a Shopify partner, Photoshop, party favors, party decor, balloons, sublimation, DTF, white toner, DTG, all the things. I'm called professor for a reason. There's not very much that I probably couldn't answer directly or point you in the right direction to get the answers that you need. So I don't do DTF in-house. One of the more popular ones though is like people are getting hot peels now. I don't print DTF in-house to recommend a film to you. And they are not all created equal. Lord knows. From the way that they take color to the way that they release. Oh God. They are not all created equal. All inks are not created equal. No, Tuesday will be day 3. We had the 23rd and the 21st and the 23rd. Tomorrow will be day 3. On Thursday, I sent the email out and I was saying that my son's award ceremony, because we were supposed to start at 6:30, but his award ceremony was at 6. And I mentioned that in the first session. So I sent an email saying that we will start at 7:30. So we started an hour later on Thursday. How much and when and where are your classes? My classes vary based off of the content. We have classes or sessions that vary from $5.63 for our design challenges all the way up to $125 for certain classes. I think Photoshop was $125. It actually might be on sale right now though. So they all vary depending on the quality and the value, not the quality, the value of the content. Silhouette Studio is near and dear to my heart. It's our flagship program, so it's really affordable right now at $103.65. You get access to our original Essentials of Silhouette Studio our original 30 days. So originally it was called Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. And 2 years ago, I taught it every single day at 11 a.m. on the weekdays, 1 p.m. on the weekends for 30 days straight. This was in the midst of the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, and people were home. So I taught that during that time. And then I didn't teach it again live for 2 years. The beginning of this year, I did what I call the refresher, but we still went through step by step over the course of 13 weeks. And this year is the only year I'm going to do it twice. Next year, when I do the refreshers, I'm not doing it twice. But starting in July, it'll be the whole third quarter. So July, August, September, we're going to do the refresher live via Zoom again. But you have access when you sign up for it. You're not just having to not get any information till July. You get full access to the original 30 days, which in my opinion is the best because I was able to take more time because every single tool had its own day. The 13-week refresher, we kind of mixed in tools together for that one. And then we're going to have another 13-week refresher. But that $103.65, that's what the cost is right now. Will get you access to all 3 of those sessions. And if you need to attend the live sessions next year, you'll be able to. You have unlimited lifetime access to that particular program for that amount. Whether you watch the playbacks or you attend the live Zoom session. Same thing with Photoshop. Any of the classes that we do now, we don't offer a membership at this time to where you just kind of pay and just have access to all of our classes. But because of the way that we present them, we just couldn't do that because you would pay 1 month and technically have access to everything. So we don't offer that. You just have to buy each class a la carte. Do you find printing on different brands of paper gives? Oh, hell yeah. I'm sorry, excuse me. My bad. Yes, it does. I'm sorry. Let me remain professional. But most definitely. Yes, and yes. I have to go and check, but I did put it on the playlist. So I have to go check later on today. Even though I have not completed Silhouette Essentials, when I came across a bump in the road, I referred back to Silhouette Essentials. You won't be disappointed. Thank you so much for that, Cassie. Or Casey. But that is the most definite. My students know that my number one recommendation is our color charts for anyone that is doing anything print wise. You need to print out your color charts. I have my color charts printed out from every printer that I use, and it labels it and it says like 7820 or 7210 or 7. Well, for those, it's kind of like they print out the same. But I ever want to see it like in, I have one tumbler that has it in ICM, the other one has it in Adobe RGB Gamma 1.8, which is my normal one that I use when I'm designing from scratch and adding colors. So I have it printed out like that. I have it sublimated to tumblers. I have it sublimated to fabric. I have it sublimated to glitter cardstock because I do a lot of sublimation to glitter cardstock and glitter HTV, the rainbow kind. So I have it printed and sub to that. I also have it printed out on my Jet Pro 3G. I have it printed out from my Roland BN20 on my matte adhesive paper, matte adhesive vinyl and my glossy adhesive vinyl. I have it printed onto my Caesar Color Print Easy. Before I got my Roland, I sent my color charts to the printer that I outsourced to for him to print it out from his EcoSolvent or latex printer onto glossy and matte vinyl. The lady that prints out my obituaries, I sent her my color chart so that it can be printed out on all the different types of papers that she offers so that I know how colors will look. I have it sent to all 3 of my DTF printers who do DTF prints for me so that I know how their particular printer prints out. And yes, certain color codes are very much so different from each one of those. I do not play about colors, and I understand that every printer will be different. Sublimation from a EcoTank printer to a workforce printer to a true sublimation printer, the colors are going to be different. Every media that I use, every setting that I use, every printer that is going to print out something for HS ink prints, I have a color chart for it because they all print out differently. Do your design classes teach arrangements of elements in order to fill the space but not be cluttered, or does that come it can come naturally over time? So if I'm doing it, like I can show it, but I'm going to show based off of how I design. And to know me is to know that I don't do a whole lot of to begin with. And I teach about font pairing. I teach about knowing, like in every design class I've taught. So if you took the one for grad season, that's a great one to really understand what's called composition and layout. I talk about, the pictures that you have, the way that they're set up. Is it a wider picture? Is it a shorter picture? Like, is it a profile? Is it a straight on? How would you use that in various things? So I do kind of like, there are some principles that are timeless. Like they're going to be the same principle from now until forever. And they were the same thing 20 some odd years ago when I first started learning. So I do like try my best to introduce that, and like I'll point out. So what I'll do sometimes is like point out other people's designs and kind of like break that down. Everyone has their own way of designing. Some people like clutter. Did I miss? No, her birthday was because she's a Taurus. So wait, did I miss her birthday too? But I love going to I used to go a lot more. I don't do it as much now, but I used to be able to go and help her like with events and stuff like that. And I'm like, the way I design too is how I was in events. I like clean line, and she is, man, fill this treat table up. I would put out a few boxes just so that it looks aesthetic, like it looks good. and have the extra stuff like tucked under the table. At the end, they know, pull it out, hand it out to people, or it'll be like on tables, or it'll be like in like little baggies for people to take. But the table itself, I was a minimalist. Oh, not Jackie. Baby, Jackie wants all of the things, okay? She wants it packed. So it's about how you prefer to design, practicing those designs. If you see designs that you like that are minimal, recreate them. It doesn't have to be for a particular project or something you're going to sell. The best way to improve your design skills is to design for no one, design for nothing, and just design to just design. But we do go over some composition and layout. I will say a lot of it ends up being based off of my preference unless someone asks a question, and then I have to go into my brain to make it kind of like make it a whole lot of, but I do kind of somewhat go over that. And it's more so just choosing the right elements, being willing to pay for multiple sources. Like I said, I use Canva as a source for elements. I use my Google, I use my Creative Fabrica, I have vector stock, I get stuff from Shutterstock. I've now, I'm not big on AI, but it's just about choosing the right, PNG tree. And these are all things that I have to pay for in order to get access to a wide variety of elements. How can I take a picture of an empty transparent balloon and be able to trace it in Silhouette Studio to use for my personal template? Hope that makes sense. Can you tell me where you saw the image of the transparent balloon at? Because I have to, because it depends on like exactly how it is. You may have to use edit points and just manually trace around it. But yeah, it just really depends on the actual image. So there's no one answer for that. If it's something that I can find on Google, or if it was like from Canva, let me know and I can go find that and I can show. Can you explain the differences between the color labels like CMYK and RGB and what they are good for and for what program? Not like Silhouette Studio doesn't give you an option of those. It's normally in programs like True Design programs that can do both print and just like display type things. It also depends on the type of printer you're printing to. You can print something, it can be in RGB mode. You can print to a sublimation printer. You can print to a dye-based printer because it will pick up on that color gamut. Things like DTF, they cannot print in RGB. Like their RIP software is made to separate the colors and it will mute it down. You're limited in your color gamut when you're in CMYK. Like I can design in RGB, and when I print it onto my Roland, because of the way that it prints, it doesn't have this like RIP software that's like printing by channel. I can just print that and I don't have any issue. My colors are spot on. But they will normally tell you CMYK is for print because you use CMYK, but there are printers that don't use just CMYK. So that really doesn't make a whole lot of for those. There are rolling printers that use red ink, orange ink, like they're like, because it's it's designed to be like fine-tuned to colors. The more color channels you have and the more ink cartridges and ink channels that you have, the more accurate you can get when it comes to colors. But trying to create an infinite number of colors with just CMYK, you're always going to run into, some issues. So not every single printer prints out in CMYK, and you need that larger color range. So people will go and design in like RGB. But if you're, I would just say for crafters, just keeping it where you're not overwhelmed with information. If you are designing for DTF, you can design in Silhouette Studio, but if you need to be able to see it in CMYK, and hold on, Papa, you're only going to be able to see that if you take it to like Photo P, Photoshop, things like that, and you change the mode to CMYK, because certain colors will mute down. Like really, really bright royal blues and neon greens, they will mute down when you switch it to CMYK. Hold on one second. He keeps coming here asking me for frozen cups. I told him he can't have them until the afternoon. You're not going to have frozen cups in the morning. I like the way you design. Before you, I really thought busy designs was the way to go, but I've been changed. I love the minimalist now. I'm not like, the one that I was showing. Wait, let me see. Let me go back to it. Is this still up here? Wait, so it's what? It's just a picture someone of someone's balloons, or are they selling a PNG of the balloon? I'm not understanding. So if I go to this, LA's paper boutique stuffed balloon. Okay, so it's like a picture. Okay, so I won't be able to probably do it because I'm not buying it. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not buying the file. That's something that you'll probably have to send to me so that I can be able to advise you on. But yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm definitely not buying a file. What's the file name though? Oh, stuffed balloon. Duh. It says it right there. Okay, stuffed balloon. Girl, if you don't create this, what you're talking about? Is this what you're referring to? This my cup. Okay, let me go back. You want to create your own base. Okay, wait, I'm confused. Because I mean, this is okay, because it's saying that it has this, which isn't like transparent, it's translucent because it has to have some color to it. And it has all of these bases and it has a ribbon. So when it comes to this particular part, you want that so that you can crop things to it. You just do a regular trace. So it should be enough color there for you to increase your threshold and I was to increase your threshold and then just do a trace and detach. And you're going to have that shape if you're wanting to. But if you're wanting to create your own, you make a damn egg shape. Girl. Hold on. Let's go through this. I'm not trying to take anything from them, but for my audience, those who want to, you're going to take a circle. Now, I don't know, this seems like it's just for mock-up type purposes. It's not like exact. So we're going to draw a circle. And we're going to double click for edit points. And you can bring this up. You now have a balloon type shape. And you're going to fill that in. Let's just go here. And you can take the transparency down. And you have that. Because it's not, if you put white, you can put white too. But, so you can do white. And now the bow is one where you can just look for a bow and put it on top. There's a lot of different, you can get a realistic looking bow. You can get, I'll probably go to PNG Tree. You can probably even go to Canva and see if they have a bow. Gift bow. Boom. Canva got a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of them. Whole bunch. Whole bunch. Probably can even find some that got the little curly cues coming down. But Canva got a whole bunch, whole bunch. You bring that over. See, you go use some little curly cues. You add, oh, that one's a watercolor one. You just kind of add that to it. Look, boom, there go another one. Plenty of bows on here. So you're gonna find it anywhere. There's other sites that will have pictures of bows, and you're just gonna literally plop that bad boy on top because it's just layered. And then for your base, I don't really understand that base because I'm like, I don't never remember seeing no balloons that look like that as far as like that kind of base, but I could be wrong, I could be wrong. And we're just gonna go like this. We're going to do an internal offset. I don't like the ends of this, so we're just gonna go. I think that's kind of how it was, or was it more oval? I don't really remember now. We're going to make that a compound path. I'm going to fill that in with color. We're going to bring this to the front. I think this part was made smaller. Oh, yeah, it was more of a circle. Okay, my bad. Yeah, it was more of a circle that fit right around it. But yeah, so you can make it where, like, just make the circle where it is. Let's release compound path. Delete. Take my transparency up. Subtract all. Actually, no. Let's go copy, subtract all, paste in front, crop, drop the transparency. There you go. And now when you add stuff to it, if you wanted it to go, my favorite thing, you want it to look realistic. You put a star on it and you want to like that's going to be on the end. You're just going to duplicate that, remove the color, hold down shift, select the star and crop. And now it's going to look like it's wrapping around the side. We can go ahead and duplicate that, mirror it to the right, click, hold down shift, click, align, and he wastes everything. Why he wastes everything?
Yes. So I told him to say, hey, let the boy at the table. Let the boy at the table.
It had milk in it?
Yes.
Oh, you're bad.
No. See.
So if I wanted this to, again, look like it is going around the sides, for me, one, I'm going to warp it. And it needs to go the other way so that it curves. Apply. What happened?
For me?
No. Why are you not? Huh? That's kind of weird. Oh, I always forget. It does add, so I have to weld it first and then make it a compound path. I always forget it does add like this second thing to it. So we're gonna go like that. And crop. So it's gonna look like it's going around the sides. Man, you can change and arrange and move things around. And I have to, that's other thing too, I have to learn to stop doing because there is a market for it. Everyone does not have access to someone that's going to teach them really quickly how to do this. So a template, or even with seeing this, for some people that stuff balloons, they're still going to feel like it's better for me just to go purchase the PNG or the file that's already set up and just simply do a trace and detach. That way you can, do whatever. I guess, and I'm learning. Like, I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I am so sorry, but I'm learning because I have to remember that things that come easy to me don't come easy to others. Because I look at things and I just see simple shapes. Now that one is a little bit more complicated because you do have to do things like offsetting, compound paths, subtracting, cropping, things of that nature. But there's sometimes where a template is literally just a square or a circle. But something like this, I mean, seeing it, it's a little bit more detailed, but the detail part comes in you decorating it, not necessarily like creating it. Thank you for the follow. Um, you nailed it. That's exactly how the balloons look with the print on it before I stuff them. I have a touchscreen laptop. Do you think in working with edit points it's better to use a mouse or a pen? I'm thinking about buying a pen. I really want to master edit points. It's probably going to be better with the mouse. If you're gonna your laptop screen might be touch screen, but you try, like, how you have to move it. It's not like a Wacom pad or like the tablets where you're basically having everything kind of like sit flat and you can adjust your monitor. So you don't want to put that pressure on it. Then you're going to have to learn to work with an electrostatic glove, and it basically covers your pinky and your what's that finger called? The one next to it. So because when you're using your pen, if that touches it, it's going to pick up that. So you have to then learn, like relearn, or like say relearn, but like learn a new skill and how to use your pen and not have your fingers touch, or you're going to have like, so yeah, it's not just okay, just put it on there, click and move. A mouse is going to be the better option. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Hans. I'm telling you, y'all keep thinking I'm playing when I say you asked a question. I'm not new to this. 26, I have 26 years of experience, down to you asking about using a stylus. And I'm going to tell you got to worry about your finger, like all the things that are going to come up. All y'all got to do is ask. I'm like, I keep trying to tell y'all. I'm an encyclopedia for all crafters and creatives. I was addicted to reading encyclopedias when I was a kid. So it's only natural that I became an encyclopedia as an adult. Thank you. But y'all gotta be willing to ask the questions. I mean, there are certain things I'm like, no, like, I still gave you insight without giving away all of my tricks of the trade for free. So, yes, for me, there is a slightly easier way to do it where that's why I didn't show. Hold on. Because even if I wanted to do the individual letters here, which one is that one? This one, we're going to duplicate this layer. And I'm going to pull it down and we're going to turn off the effects. If I wanted to separate each of these in Silhouette Studio, you know how we can trace and detach and they're automatically separated. Like people talk about, Photoshop being like the holy grail of it, but you cannot do that. You can't just go over it, select it, and hey, make each one of these their own individual layers. You have to do them one by one by one by one. Whether you do a quick selection and do it, which I don't really like to do because sometimes it picks up all the pixels, or you do a lasso. There is no, when I say there is no easy way to around this. But Silhouette Studio is an easy way where you can, like when you're of course designing in Silhouette Studio, all you do, like something comes together, you trace and detach, they're all separated. With JPEG, PNG, whatever, it's separated. So here, we would have to use our lasso tool to make sure that we really get to like the edge, like all the extra pixels of each letter. It's going to give you marching ants around the end. And we're going to go Control X, Control V. Of course, it's going to put it in the middle and then you can move it. And you can turn it off if you want to know which letters you've done already. Now, the rest of them, I'm not going to move them. Uh-oh. Oh, I was on the wrong one. And that's why I said I'm not going to remove them because I want to stay on the same layer. Oh, wait. I'm not saying the same layer, stay in the same tool. I just realized what I said. Ooh, I cut it off. So I just add to it instead of redoing it again. And then this is by itself. So now and I can select them. I can line them up. I can space them, which that is, they were slanted. That's why they're not all lined up because they were slanted. So there's that. And now I can take the end, I can give it its own elements. I can make it its own color. So now I can make this rainbow color when it was like this before, unless I'm going to create a gradient that goes across and I'm going to create my gradient stops at the perfect distance for each letter. I cannot make each individual letter its own individual color in Photoshop. Well, unless you can use live paint, but for the most part, like if you really want them to be separated, to also add like, so you can probably make them their own color, but you wouldn't be able to make them like their own design elements. Like if you're making kind of like, what's that thing called? Like the Mean Girls, like you want all to have all these different things on them. You would have to separate them. You can make them like different colors, but you have to separate them to alter and like modify each letter. So at Studio, we trace, detach, they're separated. So there are pros and cons to every single program. They offer different features. She says, when I come to Miami again, I'm setting up a one-on-one with you to design something. I did some letter layering and shadowing in Photoshop, but when I printed, some of the layers looked blurry. What did I do wrong? If you want, I can save that question for Photoshop class. Also send me the file because if I can't see it, so you can, depending on how big the file is, you can probably save it. And then if you have save it to like a Google Drive, that way I can access and open it. But yeah, I definitely need to see it. So technically, like the next set of classes, because of how we're doing them, it's like really sticking to exactly what it is that we are teaching. I have to schedule the study hall session. So, of course, general questions like that are something that you can always ask in a study hall. I didn't realize that I don't think I did. I didn't set the study hall session dates. So I have to set the study hall session dates. And that's a time where that can be answered in that, for study halls. But come tomorrow, we have a strict lineup of what we're doing for tomorrow's class because I want it to really be a click for click. So it's not going to be a lot of just open general questions in tomorrow's class. But if you send it to me, I can kind of look at it. You have access to Student Union. Whenever you take a class, you do have access to our Student Union. So it'll be like me answering that. So you send it to me, and then I can create a post basically answering that question for you. What's This kid is adamant on getting a frozen cup before 12 o'clock. No, sir, Bob. All right, there are no new questions. I thank you guys so very much for joining me live. I'm going to try and probably catch an afternoon crew because I'm not sure. I tried to go live early because I figured maybe when the sun goes down, most people will be in the streets. You'll be out and about. I'll try and maybe do a session a little bit later on for those who are like, look, I had a day off. I am sleeping in. Anybody got time for this? Holler at me in the afternoon or the evening. But y'all know I love doing these Q&As. I love when I actually get questions and really good questions. So, oh, wait, I have a question over here. Oh, no, that's okay. No, I scrolled up by mistake. I read that question already. All right. So again, I thank you guys so very much. The 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 paper is still on sale over on the website. So definitely go over and check that out. So that's only 8.5 by 11 and 11 by 17. They are on sale. So we go here. I'm going to add it to my cart. 11 by 17. Add it to cart, which I think I already had something in my cart. Surely did. So right now, the 11 by 17, it goes from $33.65 to $25.58. So you save $8.07. And the 8.5 by 14 goes from $23.65 to $17.98. You save $5.67. That is for grad season. Once my grad season is over with, that discount is over with. Okay. So take advantage of the discount on 8.5 by 11 and 11 by 17 paper. Until next time. Oh, wait. Do you have a video on how to do a stole with 8.5 inch with an 8.5 by 11 inch printer? So there's no such thing as an 8.5 by 11 inch printer. Every single Epson printer prints 47 inches long. I do have a video. You can go to, honestly speaking, it's not necessarily with 8.5 by 11, but I talk through it. I use roll paper because we sell it. And once I found roll paper, like I don't know how many years ago, maybe I was not going back. Although for certain classes, I think our stole class I showed with taping it together and all that stuff. And I've done different live videos with taping papers together. My recommendation is to pre-tape your papers together. I'm in grad season right now, so I personally would not do a stole by taping it together because it's going to add a line of demarcation. And I mean, I have a roll, so I don't have to do that. But in the off season, I have done videos where I'm showing, larger prints and taping it together. But right now, I could never show you one of my stoles because that's just not the way that I end up doing it. Because and it's also too much work. So until after grad season, I probably would not do another video of taping it together. And normally when I'm doing those, there's no real design. Like I think last time it was like a tie-dye type design or whatever that was on there. But my recommendation is for you to pre-tape them together. Use cheap old painter's tape. You don't have to use heat tape. Painter's tape, line them up about a half an inch or so of overlap, line them up, and you're going to print it the same way that I would print on a single cut sheet off of a roll. And that's going to be the easiest way versus, and I know when you're saying use 8.5 by 11, you're probably thinking, how do I split these up and tape it together? For something like an all over shirt or something that is wide, you will eventually have to tape sheets together. Something like a stole, it is not a requirement for you to tape it together to make it wide, like after the fact. Create yourself a long sheet and print each panel. So I will go through that really quickly. If you've never seen how to change your settings. I don't know, which program do you print from? While you type in what program do you print from, I got to go grab a glass of water. So let me know, what program are you printing from? Are you designing in and printing from? Okay, you're printing from Photoshop. Was it a pre-made template to where, the size of the file was already set up to where it's, and do you happen to have that one where it's it's in Photoshop, but it automatically breaks it up into 8.5 by 11 for you? Or you've never done it before? Are you designing it from scratch yourself in Photoshop? Okay, so we are at, if you want to watch the full playback of this and see my full screen, I am streaming on YouTube right now. So it's going to be at the time marker of 2 hours and 49 minutes. Yes, that's how long we have been on. So at the time marker of 2 hours and 49 minutes is where this part is going to start. So what you're going to do, if you're not using a template and you're just going to design it in a square or a rectangle, whatever, you can do one of two things. You can do two 8.5 inch wide prints, like pages, or you can do like 113, like some people do like 13 and then 38 inches long, or 30, like 37, 38, somewhere in there. They'll do that long, depending on which size, or if you're doing a 60 inches, a little bit different, you have to measure it. Whatever you measure your stole as, do at least a 1/2 inch wider and at least an inch top and bottom height wise, to accommodate if you're just going to take your design all the way up and you're not doing an exact template. See, I work in exact templates. So you're going to go new, and just for the shits and giggles, let's just do one side. Well, we can do technically do two sides. If you don't know, Photoshop now has artboards. So I'm going to change this unit of measurement to inches, and we're going to do 8.5, which they're not really 8.5 at all. Actually, I'll tell you, hold on. I'll do it off of my exact template. Hold on. With the bleed, they're really only 5.9. So the design part of it is about, and that's with the bleed for me, where it's about 6 inches. So you really don't have to do, also, you are working from a template, because you said it's a 72-inch template. Is it just a plain template and you're going to design it? Because if they already have it set up, then I don't need to do this part, because they already have a 72-inch template and it has the sizing for you. I just need to show you how to print it. That's what I was asking, was the template. So it's plain, but so it's already set up. Is it set up for each individual side, where each one is set up 8.5 inches wide, or is it like one big 13-inch wide template? Because most crafters design it 13 inches wide. They think about 13 by 19 paper. Okay, it's one big template. They probably designed it 13 by 38. And I'm just going to go create. And it might tell you to do that color. I thought I changed that a long time ago. That was from class. It was something I was teaching in class. So it's going to be set up like this. So I'm just going to make a rectangle. Again, I really actually can't say how. I don't know how your template, because I don't know if it's like it's just one big. If you're gonna do like one big background, if you're gonna do like each individual size. Like, I don't know which template you have and how it's set up. So if I make a rectangle and I make that rectangle, oh damn, your girl is good. Oh wow, because that's actually probably about the size of it. But I'm gonna make this 6, but about 36. Oh wait, unlock. Okay, so let's just say I have it at this size, and then I'm just going to duplicate this. So within like your layers and stuff like that, we're going to go ahead and rasterize both of these. And then on this one, I'm going to create a group, and we're going to convert that into a smart object. Well, actually, convert to a smart object. I'm going to, no, I want to not create into a smart object yet. I want to just group it. And then group. And then you're going to put all of your design elements on it. So whatever you put here, I'm not going to go find pictures. I'm just going to literally just keep putting shapes on this to represent, you putting different elements. We can do another layer. I'm going to make that a clipping mask. I'm going to use the brush tool and create a weird, very, very weird brush stroke. Why are you not brushing? Oh, why is it behind it though? Okay. I thought I chose green. I know I chose green. Oh, never mind. Huh. Oh, that's the wrong one. This is the one on this side. That was my bad. No, hold on. Okay, no, I was right. This is this one. Okay, there we go. Trying to keep up with which one is which. So this is okay. This rectangle was here. Then there that clipping mask. Okay, there we go. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, I know it's supposed to be on top. Have me out here looking crazy. All right, so see how I'm painting it and it's staying. So I'm literally just creating anything at this point. We're going to add another one and we're going to create here. Also make that a clipping mask. So we have it like all designed. You have like your two sides. In order for this, well, you can do, actually, you don't really have to do it as a smart object. What you're going to do is you're going to go to print. So file, print, and you're just going to move it around to where one is not on the screen. So you're going to go to print settings. And you're going to go to document. Well, if you already have your presets set up for sublimation, go find one of those. Doesn't matter which one it is, what size it is. So like right now I have 8.5 by 11 sub, here. So I'm going to click that one. Everything is mirrored. I won't forget those because all you do now is change the documents, the print size, the document size. You're going to go to document size. You're going to go to user defined. And you're going to relabel it out of this, like mine says HS Ink sub print roll or whatever, or you can just put 8.5 by 47, or long prints or stole, because it's not just for stoles. You would use this for anything that's long, even though it's not 47 inches long. You still set it for 47 inches, and it's only going to print to how much paper you have. So you're going to set this to 8.5. And then here for the height, you're going to put 47. You can put the 0.24. I normally just do 47. And then you're going to title it and save it. I already have it saved. So for me, it's under user defined. I know you guys can't say if you want to see the full screen, you have to go over and watch on the YouTube. Under user defined, you're going to see, whatever ones you have set up. So for me, HS Ink. Oh, I don't have a 12. Oh, here it is. So 8.5 by 4.724 roll. So I'm going to click on that. All my other settings stays the same. You can now go and save this as a preset because I think I already have my roll set up as a preset. 12, yeah, HS 8.5 sub roll. So I already have mine set up as a preset. But so now you would save it as a preset, right? And then you're going to go, okay. It's going to adjust. You see, it made it where it's long. It's going to adjust that. You're going to click and move. Preferably you have enough space in between the two. Put it closer to the top. And then you're going to print that out. You're going to, however much paper you take the 8.5 by 11, however much you need to get to 36 inches. I want to say it's like 3, 4, somewhere in there. Yeah, you have to do 4 because 3, you're going to overlap them, would really only be 33. So you have to do 4 so that you can be within 30, like the 36, 38 inch range. And you're just going to move it and you're going to print it. And then you're going to go file print again. It's going to already be set up, or it should maintain, like this should be the last print setting. So it's going to come up looking the exact same way. I'm just going to move this over to the other side and you're going to print it. And it's going to print to all of those pages at one time. And you're not going to have to piece them together afterwards because you're going to tape them together beforehand. And you can load it into, I'm not sure which printer you have, but into your rear feed or your front tray. That's it. You are welcome, Barbara. Like I said, it's on my YouTube. I'm actually live on both YouTube channels. It started at 2 hours and 49 minutes if you want to see the full screen. All right, on that note, I'm hungry too. Have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.